Can I have that?
All righty. All right, there we go. Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
It's another opportunity for us to come together and hear and learn of the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and given freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, the saints watching in on the camera, but no peace to the wicked. Tell them, say, no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they, repent that,
Get your hand out your mouth.
repent that they might live. All right? All right, where we leave off last week? Mel, you don't remember? Where we leave off last week?
You missed some good stuff, man. Where you been?
That's right. All right. We got to set the scene, don't we? Set the scene. What was the scene?
Fire.
Fire. What else was the scene? Smoke. Okay, you trying to teach. Ain't no woman ain't got no business teaching. Act like your darn grandma. So you said fire, smoke. We was at the mountain, wasn't we? We were looking out. Moses went up. You know what I'm saying? No. Before Moses went up, Most High God started speaking words out. We got the, what we call the 10 Commandments. First 10 Commandments. After that 10th one, we asked him to stop, didn't we? Most High God would have went on, right? He would have gave us all the commandments from the mount. But we asked him to stop right after the 10th because we thought, I mean, it was so loud, it hurt us. We thought that we were going to die. So we said, you know what, no. Why don't you stop? I like the way it was working before. We was excited to meet him, wasn't we? We were like, okay, well, we get to hear the voice of the Most High God ourselves. So far, we only heard from Moses. So we was excited to hear him. Then we heard him. We were like, whoa. Let's take it back how it was before. Moses, you going up there, you hear from him, and you just bring it back to us because we're not dealing with it. But at the scene, you got fire, you got smoke, you got lightning, you got thunder, and you got earthquakes. And you at the bottom of a mountain. And you can't go up the mountain. But Moses can. Moses went up that mountain into the midst of where it looked like all the action was happening, all the fire and the smoke and thunder and all that stuff was happening. He walked right in there. And then he came back down after that, and he said, okay, this is everything I heard. These are the laws that I just discussed with the Most High God, and he delivered those laws to us, right? Before that, we made an agreement and said, everything that you say, we will do. Talking to Yahuwah, talking to the Yahuwah, talking to the Most High God, right? Then, after he gave us the commandments, we said, everything that you say, we will do. Then, at the sealing of the covenant, we said it again. Everything that you say, we will do. Right? Grab that for me real quick. This is Exodus chapter 24, verse Exodus chapter 24,
7.
Verse 7. Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. What's the second? No, I want the last one. It's the same, but I still want the last one.
What do you mean?
The last time they said it.
This is it.
7 is the last time they said it?
Yeah, verse 7.
It seemed like that's the second time they said it.
Let's see.
No.
They should say it twice in chapter 24.
Hold on.
That's all right. Give me 7. This is Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. Watch what the book say.
And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do and be obedient.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahuwah has made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone.
Right.
As it was clear body of heaven in its clearness.
So they went up there and they ate with the Most High God to seal the covenant that they just made. They said, everything you said, we gonna do it. Right? So now that's the agreement. That's the covenant. Most High God laid out in that covenant the things that he would do for us as well, including taking into the land. Remember at the end, we went over all the commandments that he gave to us at that point. And at the end of him giving us the commandments, he talked a little bit about what he is going to do for us in terms of bringing us into the land. Right? So now, after that, you remember he went back up. Right? He went back up to the mountain and he started to speak to God again. He ends up being in there 40 days, 40 nights. During the time that he's in there, remember, the scene has not changed. Earthquakes. You at the bottom of a mountain. At the top of the mountain is fire, is smoke, is lightning, thunder, earthquakes. It's scary. Madness up there. Whoever go up there, crazy man. Moses went up there, right? Moses came back down from there. Okay, Moses is safe. It looks scary. Clearly, it's not that scary. But then Moses goes back up there. He ends up being there 40 days, 40 nights. Moses didn't tell nobody, yo, I'm going to be gone for the next month and a half. He didn't say that to nobody. As far as they know, you went up there once. You came back after this, however much time it took. You came back down. And like that was scary for it, but you made it. You came back down. Then you go back up there again. And what would our expectation be? If it took them, we don't know how long it was the first time, but let's say it took them a week the first time. Let's say it took them, let's say it took them a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Our expectation is you went up there before, came back with all these commandments in whatever time, you're going to come back in the same time, right? Well, that didn't happen. It was a much extended time from what they experienced the first time, right? So he's up there 40 days, 40 nights. Nobody knew he was going to be up there that long. Only thing people know is the top of that mountain is scary. It looked like we was all about to die, and Moses just walked into the midst of the thing that we thought was going to kill us, right? And he hasn't come back yet, and nobody's heard from him, and he didn't tell anybody how long he's going to be, but last time he wasn't up there that long, right? That's our mindset as a people. So who's in charge right now?
Aaron.
Aaron would be in charge, right? Now, and during this 40 days and 40 nights, Moses is getting instructions from the Most High God about how to build our tabernacle. We're going to build like a little tent, a little tabernacle that we're going to use for the priests to make our sacrifices. Everything about to be structured and set up now, right? So what the Most High God and Moses is discussing is like, yeah, this got to be 2 cubits, and we'll go over all that next week, right? But he's giving them all the measurements right now, right? So that happens from chapter 25 all the way to chapter 32. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pick up at chapter 31 just to kind of hear some of the discussion that the Most High God is having with Moses right before Moses leaves. So think of this as like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know for sure, but think of this as like day 40 because it's 40 days and 40 nights. So this is day 4. You know what I'm saying? This is the right before day 40, before he leaves, right? This is Exodus chapter 31, verse 1. It's Exodus chapter 31, verse 1. Watch what the book says.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of of the tribe of Judah. Mm-hmm. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship.
So now, what's his name? Bezaleel?
Bezaleel.
Bezaleel. So Bezaleel, the Most High God called him and put a spirit in him that he'll be able to design to do the workmanship of everything that needs to be put together. So he'll be able to design the gold and fashion everything that it needs according to what the Most High God is delivering to Moses. He telling Moses, look, it need to be this long. It need to have this. You need to coat it with gold. It need to have these rings on it. You need to have 2 sticks to go right here. So he telling them exactly how to put this stuff together. But Moses ain't no carpenter. He don't know how to put this stuff together. So he's telling them, look, I already called a man that's going to be able to do it. This is the man. So he's telling you about this man. He's saying, yeah, I put the spirit in him. He'll be able to hook it up. Don't even worry about it, right? Keep going.
And I, behold, I have given with him Aholiab, the son of Ahishamach, of the tribe of Dan. Mm-hmm. And in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, and they may make all that I have commanded thee.
Uh-huh.
The tabernacle of the congregation and the ark of the testimony and the mercy seat that is thereupon.
So now he's telling you the artifacts that he gave instruction on. We skipped it. Don't worry, though. We're going to talk about it next week. But he's telling the tabernacle of the testimony, right? What else?
The ark of the testimony.
The ark of the testimony.
The mercy seat that is thereupon.
The mercy seat, that's part of the ark, right? So that's one piece. The ark, you kind of look at the ark, it's like this. It's like a little bit higher than this, but it's about this size. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit higher, and it's a ark is just a box, right? So think of it just like a box. Then it got a seat on top, right? And the seat got 2 cherubim. We're going to talk about all of it, but it got 2 cherubim on top. But it's about this size, right? Keep going.
And the table and its furniture, and the pure candlestick with all its furniture.
So you got a table, you got a candlestick. What else? The altar of incense.
And the furniture and the altar of incense.
Then you got an altar of incense, right? What else we got?
And the altar of burnt offering with its furniture, and the laver and its foot.
Right? Then you got an altar of burnt offering, and then you got a laver, which is like a big, think of it like a big bowl. You know what I'm saying? It got water in it. You ever seen like a bird bowl? You know what I'm saying? Where they put the water in the bowl so the birds can come take a bath in there or whatever. So like it was like one of those. You know what I'm saying? But it's this is for like the people, the priests to dip their hands in. We'll talk a little bit more about it next week. So he's giving you all the stuff. What else?
And the laver with his foot, and the clothes of service, and the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office. And the anointing oil and sweet incense for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded thee, shall they do. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths you shall keep.
Right? So notice that he commanded the Sabbath again. Right? So he's saying, verily, in other words, truly, in other words, for real, you about to keep my Sabbaths. Right? Keep going.
For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahuwah that does sanctify you.
So the Sabbath works out to be a what?
A custom.
What did he just say? It is a what?
It is a memorial. What is it? It's a sign.
He said it's a sign between you and I, right? Between me and you. So that ends up being one of the signs of our people, the Sabbath. We talked about that before, and it's the context that we talk about it in is that's the you have a way to explain away a lot of stuff in how we reckon time, right? Scientifically, right? You could look at every measurement of time, right? So if we start at seconds, right? Seconds is a denomination of minutes. Right? And then minutes are a denomination of hours, right? And hours are an even denomination of a day, right? And then you have days, which are even denomination of a year, right? Well, not really. Days are the cycle that we see in the sky of the sun, right? So then scientifically you can explain that. I got a day because of I'm looking up in the sky and the sun has this cycle and it keeps to the same time. So that reckons a day, and then I divide that day into hours and minutes and seconds and all that. Makes sense. Okay, so days out the way. Then the next thing you look at is what? A month, right? And then for a month, you could say, oh, that originated based off of doing the same thing with the moon. Now it's changed over time, but the name month comes from moon, right? So you can say, okay, well, in olden times, my people used to look up in the sky and they check the cycle of the moon, and based off of the cycle of the moon, that's where we got the concept of a month from. Okay, cool. Science. You don't need the God for it. You don't need anything. And then a year. Well, then you put all of that together, the days, the months, and all that, and then you get the cycle of a year, right? The moon and the sun and the days follow this pattern over a year's time frame, and now that cycle continues. We call those cycles years. Great. All of that is scientific. What do you got for a week? Nothing. There's no science for a week. You don't have nothing that you could, there's no cycle that you could look at that happens every 7 days in the sky or anything like that. The week only comes from the Most High God, right? The 7-day week. You can't get that from anybody else. You can't get that from science. No scientist can explain that away. That's a tradition that comes from the Most High God. So when he said that this is a sign between me and you, that's part of what he's saying. He's saying, like, listen, the way somebody might know I'm real is because you are testifying to my realness by keeping a 7-day week, by keeping the Sabbath, essentially, right? To keep the Sabbath, you have to keep a 7-day week. You have to track a 7-day week, right? So he's saying that is the sign. Keep going. Watch this.
You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiles it shall surely be put to death.
That's right.
For whosoever does any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
That's law, right? So our people, we had it when we were in our land. You couldn't work on the Sabbath. This had to be, the Sabbath was designated for rest. So much so that if you weren't resting, you got punished to death, right? It's not that, it was a, what they call that? What they call it when you kill somebody? Not kill somebody, when you punish them with death.
The judgment.
But what is it? Huh? Execution. But what is it? What do they call it? It's a different word for it. Something crime. What kind of crime is that? A crime that is deserving. Yeah, but
Right.
what is the name I'm trying? Capital crime. It's a capital crime. Right? So that would have been for us what these people would call a capital crime. Right? We look at it now because of the culture of the people and all this. We look at it now and be like, that's harsh. You know what I'm saying? Like harsh. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't want to rest, maybe want to do extra work, catch up on my work, whatever. You tell me just because I don't want to be lazy for a day, you know what I'm saying? Because we praise work. Why do we praise work here?
That's how that thing runs. That's how the economy runs. That's how everything's built here.
Because it's built off of slavery. Right? Here they used to have a number of days off. It wasn't always just having the weekend off or just, you know what I'm saying? That came later. The days shortened up. Right? And now you got people that work longer hours in the day just to get more days off. They're working 410s or 312s and all that crazy stuff these people be doing. Right? And the reason why that happens is because these people praise work. They try to make you think that that's what it's about. Work harder, work, the better you are. Just work. Always chase something new. Why do you think that's what? Just dream big. Right? Don't ever let anybody tell you can't. Run your own business, open your own. That's all they talk about because the mindset of this people is work. Not because they want you to do better, but because that's what it takes to make this economy run. Remember, this economy was built on slavery. It was built on work. Right? So this type of economy, you have to get people to do work for little money or nothing. And the only way to get people to keep chasing stuff is to tell them you don't have enough. Keep going for it. Keep going. You don't have enough. Well, that's different from the Most High God. You saw from the laws we went over last week, his idea was, hey, if you got your field, don't take everything out of the field. Leave something for the darn poor. He tell you, like, listen, it's going to be a Sabbath year. Don't even work it that whole year. He telling us now, he's saying, look, on the Sabbath day, don't do no work. Because it's the opposite for him. His economy is not built on slavery and labor and people suffering just so other people can get ahead. Our economy is built on love, right? Our economy is built on if you got it, share it. If you don't got it, share with the people who do. Right? And it ain't no situation where it's like, okay, everything I got, I have to divide up evenly amongst the people. That's communism, right? That's not how our economy was. We saw, if we fast forward to the New Testament, that is how the New Testament was set up, where everything was given to the authority system in terms of the disciples, and then after that, it would distribute it evenly to everybody based off of their needs.
I always wonder why, they demonize communism so much.
Well, because you can't do it. I mean, we could do it as disciples because we was led by the Most High God, but everybody gonna take advantage of that thing. Yeah, give it all to me. I look out for everybody. You know what I'm saying? We good. Don't even worry about it. Just give it up to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll give it to everybody. What, you need something? No, I'll make sure you get it. And I give you the bare minimum, the least that you could possibly get. And meanwhile, I'm controlling all this money, and on the side, I'm out here balling. I ain't telling nobody. I look like I'm in rags to riches just like everybody else. Like, oh, no, we all suffering together. I don't know if it's enough left. I go in my house, play my PS5, you know what I'm saying, turn everything on. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying, nah, we don't need game systems. It's not a necessity. You know what I'm saying? But that's how usually our communism works, just because you don't have nobody trustworthy to fairly give it all out. You know what I'm saying? That's why we had to have those strict rules when we set up the the 7 disciples over it. You know what I'm saying? You got to give men a rapport. You know what I'm saying? That's just men, right? So we look at it, and you see a difference with the Most High God, and he took that difference seriously, and that's why you have the Sabbath in place. It's to fight against the mentality that we have now in this country, right? There should be a level of rest, right? There should be a level. Our whole mindset shouldn't be about gaining more or getting more. I listen to people talking just like, I just can't relate to somebody who just don't want to do better. Like, what are you talking about? Like, where does that stop? You always have to want to do better? Like, you always have to want to get more? So that never stops. That's crazy. Like, it don't feel crazy because that's what this country is telling us, right? That's what the culture of this country is telling us. But it's like, if you sit back and take a step back and think about it, that is insane. That's crazy. Like, you're setting yourself up to never be satisfied. And what do you got? Everywhere you turn, you look in any room, you got 2 out of 6 people depressed. That's crazy. And the reason is because we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves based off of this culture, but it's necessary to make it run. If I don't have slavery, right, then everybody got to share. So the part that I didn't pay the slaves and I was able to pay everybody else and make sure the money spread around real, now everybody got to share in that cost. And for everybody to share in that cost, and don't make a mistake, black people still overwhelmingly share more than anybody else, right? We still the bottom of this thing. But everybody got to share because we took away slavery. And more as time goes on, the oppression of black people is lessening, right? Finally, we starting to get some judgment that work in our favor with people getting life. First, it started with a cop that actually did some time. You know what I'm saying? Got 10 years. She ain't going to do it all, I'm pretty sure. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a step in the right direction.
It's a start.
You know what I'm saying? Still ain't right, but it's a step in the right direction. Then you get the men who actually, you know what I'm saying, got life. Then you get the other cop, you know what I'm saying? What do you get? The one that sat on the boy neck, or the man neck.
I forget.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some time too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you get, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these situations you get in, it's like, okay, stuff is starting to, like, the oppression is starting to ease off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little by little, but it's starting to ease off. So the more that eases off, the more everyone else has to share in the economic struggle. And the more that happens, then the more I have to, like, motivate you with unrealistic expectations. Get more, want more, try harder, keep going, do this, do that. And then that affects people's psyche. And then you see that's part of many reasons, but that's part of the reason why we have so many people depressed. Right? Small part, but it's a part of the reason why we have so many people depressed, so many people dealing with things mentally, so many people self-diagnosing themselves. We're hypersensitive to mental issues right now. And there's a reason for it. Right? There's a reason for it. It's because, you know what I'm saying, it's the cost of doing business the way we do. Most High God didn't want that. Right? Keep going.
"6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever does any work on the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
That's right.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and thee, children of Israel, forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
That's right.
And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him,
What did he give
Mount
him?
Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone.
Right? So he gave him 2 stones that had the laws that he spoke written on them. Right? So he gave that to Moses. What it was supposed to be is a testimony. So basically, what the Most High God is trying to do is, let me give you enough evidence right now to make what's happening right now last throughout history.
Till I believe you forever.
People got to believe you. So I'm not just going to leave you out here because it's like, we ain't got no cameras. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing happen like that. So it's like, I'm not about to just leave you out here with no evidence, because eventually these people that saw this, they're going to have kids. And they going to die. Then their kids going to have kids because they parents died. And eventually people going to get so far away from these events, they're going to be like, is that real? So it's like, let me give you some hard evidence that people can refer back to. That's the only reason. Like, there's a lot of people right now that don't believe this book. But the only reason this book makes it this far is because earlier, a lot of the evidence is gone now and is hidden now. But earlier in history, it was unquestionable. Like, this is not, this right now we can look back because a lot of the evidence is not there. So like now we can look back and be like, I don't know that. Jesus was never a real person and this, that, and the other. Right? We can do that 2,000 years later because we're so detached from the evidence. Right? But the Most High God was like, okay, in order to get this 2,000 years out from the time that Yahushua died, and 4,000, 5,000 years from the time Moses was here, I'm going to have to start it off with some evidence. I know the evidence ain't going to last. It ain't going to make it all the way there, but it don't have to. If you build a strong enough base of people that'll vouch for this, right, then it'll last with some people among the way. And along the way, that's what we're looking at. He's looking at the chosen people that can look and be fair about the evidence now and be like, oh, well, this has to be real. Because if you fair, it has to be real. You look at all these religions today. You look at the top 5 religions, 3 of the top 5 are based off of this. What we talking about right now. 3 of the top 5 religions is based off of this. The other 2 of the top 5 religions is based off of one individual culture, each of them, right? Not saying there's not other people that, that join them, but I'm just saying primarily, right? The mass majority, it got one people in there. It's just something that they pass down amongst their nation, and that's them. Right? No, not ours. Everything built off of this, what we talking about right now, spreads across all people. You got Islam that's built off of this. It spreads across all people. You got white people that's Islam, a lot of them, right? You got a lot of Arabics that's Islamic. You got a lot of Africans that's Islamic. You got different types of people from different places, different backgrounds that can identify as these things. And it's because it's built off of evidence that was real. It has standing. Right? We can look back now and say, I doubt if Yahushua or Jesus, right? I doubt if Yahushua was a real person. It's made up. But you can pull up history of people around that time that reference and talk about Yahushua, and not once do any of them talk about him like he's not a real person. And they're at the time. It's easy for us to do it because we're so far away from the evidence. The people that was right next to the evidence, that was there for it, nobody questioned it. You talk about anything in history in the BC time frame that references Israel or references the God of Israel or the Hebrews, none of them talk about it like it's fake. None of them talk about it like, they might talk about it like, oh, their God is not, maybe their God is not, the Don Dada that they think he is, but they acknowledge him as a God, they acknowledge him as our God, and they acknowledge our history. It's only now that we look back and we're like, well, the Hebrew people, as it's written in the Bible now, didn't exist. King Solomon didn't exist. It's all this weird stuff these people come up with, and it's like, oh, it's happening just because you didn't have the evidence. Well, the Most High God tried to prevent that from happening too early in the history, right? It's by design that it happens at this point.
Didn't the Africans, the people from Sheba, didn't they talk about how like their queen really went to go see him?
Yeah, a lot of them, but they'll write them off as people because it's all tradition, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll write them off as people that just believe the Bible.
Yeah, I think they have some writings too about how she actually went to Israel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Outside of our Bible, like they was talking about.
Yeah, it's stuff out there. Yeah, it's all types of writing out there. Anybody any writing from that time that talks about our people, you know what I'm saying? It talk about it as if we real people. It don't even hint to like, oh, that's fake, or you know what I'm saying? You'll never find nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Not in the time period. You'd always find it after.
Yeah, you got all them reliefs from the Assyrians taking us captive and everything.
Yeah, it's legit. Like, it ain't no way. It's only silly people that say that type of stuff. But that's what the Most High God is trying to prevent with the table to stone. He is like, look, here goes some evidence. So when people look at it, they can be like, okay, well, now I got something hard to look at. To be like, oh, that refers back to what my daddy told me or what my mama told me or whatever. Let's keep going.
And 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. Mm-hmm. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount.
Look, when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, he was in there 40 days, 40 nights. So when they saw that it took him a long time to come down from the mount, what happened?
The people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
Right? We don't know what happened to Moses. He's been up there for a long time. So go ahead. We got to keep moving this thing. Make us gods. What are they saying when they saying make us gods?
He's saying, you know what I'm saying? That God that Moses was talking to, bring him out here. I seen you kicking it with Moses all the time. You did some good stuff too. Like, where he at?
Customarily, what people did is they had an idol to represent their God. right? So they'll have some type of image, right? You know how people got a cross now? You know how people got, you got the Buddha statue, right? A what?
Little Mary.
The little Mary, right? All these different things, those are idols, right? And you use that to represent like some God. So you have a physical representation of it, and then you see the Catholics, they sit there and they kiss the thing and they bow down to it and pray to it and all that, the beads, all that stuff because you need something physical to represent a spiritual energy that you can't see, right? Now the Most High God, first commandment told us that we can't do that stuff, right? Still these Christians do it and a lot of people do it. But the Most High God told us we can't do that stuff, right? They're used to it though, because they come from Egypt and they come from all these different places and interact with all these different people. And that's the way of the world. Everybody who got a God got an idol to represent it. So you have to put yourself in that mindset like this is normal. Now, Moses served as that idol, right? We had a human idol, so it felt superior. Like I got somebody I can walk up to and talk to, and they can go talk to the Most High God for it. All these other people got idols that they got to build and bend down and pray to and this, that, and other, and they got to hope the idol gives them a sign from the God. Right? This idol represents the actual God. This idol is not the actual God, but I know he represents the God. So if I bow down to him and pray, something's supposed to happen. Maybe it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the room starts shaking or something, but I get some message from it that tells me this is what I should do or what I shouldn't do. Right? So Moses was that for us, but we can talk to Moses. We can go up to Moses and be like, man, this is how I feel, this, that, and the other. Can you do this for me? And then Moses be like, man, let me talk to the Most High God. He talks to the Most High God and come back, look, this is what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit this rock real quick, some water going to come out. Y'all go ahead and drink. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the manna, right? The manna going to come out the sky, some quail going to come out the sky, all these different things. He's like, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, Moses took care of it and we could talk to him. So they looking like, okay, well, we had it going on with Moses. We don't know what happened to Moses. Not what happened. I have no idea what happened to Moses. Moses ain't came down though, I know that much, right? So now I got to think of another way. We got to be just like the other people then. At least give us an idol is what it's talking about when he say make us gods. Give us an idol to represent Yahushua, the one that just spoke to us in the mountain. The one that just told us don't have no idols, right? But he said, give us an idol to represent because Moses is gone. We need just to put ourselves in that mindset. We need something to represent this invisible power, right? It's not like we don't have no history to tell us that people the people worshipped invisible things without an idol. Everything in history tell us people had some type of physical representation. So it would have been weird to be like, all right, so we serving a God. Who's communicating with him again?
Where is he?
Where is he? What is he doing? How do I pray to him? Like, how do I let him know? We don't have no tabernacle. We don't have nothing at this point. So it's just like, how do I get in touch with this dude? Or we wouldn't have a way to do it. So it's like, I say all this, I want to explain it because I want us to understand why they came to Aaron with this. Like for us, it looked crazy. Like, what? You just had God talking to you on the mountain. For us, it's like, why would you do something stupid like that just because we got the whole Bible to go off of? For them, they don't have what we have. The only thing they got is, they got examples of people that got idols. Then you got this new man that come along named Moses that do all this new stuff. And it's like, okay, well, I don't need an idol because I got him. Well, now I think Moses is dead. Aaron, you in charge. You ain't got it like that with the Most High God. So least you could do is make me a darn idol.
Also, it's like they seen Aaron do miracles too. So it's like, you got to know who we're talking about here.
Yeah, buddy. But remember, the Most High God said, even though they saw Aaron do miracles, the Most High God set it up to where the people saw Moses as God and Aaron as a prophet. If you have no more Moses, Aaron has no connection. Right? Because Moses was God to us. Moses was him. So it's like if he's gone, okay, Aaron, make us another God. Make us God. Right? So when they're saying that, they're really telling you, make us another Moses. Right? Give us a Moses that we can, you know what I'm saying, that we can take our grievances to and everything, and then we can hope that something good happens as a result. Right? So let's see what happens next.
And Aaron said unto them, break off your golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives and of your sons and your daughters, and bring them to me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron.
So we all wore earrings. You know what I'm talking about? Sons, the wives, daughters, males, everybody. Everybody wore earrings. That was part of us. Keep going.
And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah.
So it's a feast to who?
Yahuwah.
It's important that that's said because he made cows, right, as the idol. So the way that he represented God was an idol of a cow, right? A lot of people look at that and be like, oh, see, they start worshiping another God already. But that's not true. They made a feast to who?
Yahuwah.
So these calves didn't represent another God to them. It represented the same God that Moses was dealing with. It's just that we don't have Moses, so let's make them like me. I like to think of my God as a cow at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, they came from, it's weird for us, right? But they came from a place in Egypt where, what do you see in every picture of a pharaoh? What kind of hat is he wearing?
Like an animal.
They all got on animal hats, snakes and birds and all that. Because for them, that's what they worship. The pharaohs were what?
Like gods.
They were like gods to the Egyptians in ancient times. And so to put on that, it's the same concept. To put on that God energy, I got to dress up like the God. And the God would be a bird, or the God would be a snake. Right? So when they looking at it, they looking like, okay, this is Pharaoh. He has his authority and energy directly from the gods. And here he can rule. So Pharaoh will walk around like, I am God. Right? That's how they would operate. That's how they would rule. They get their power directly from the gods. They dress up on it and all that. So we think in that same mindset because that's where we're from. So we come through. Moses is gone. Moses was like the Pharaoh. You are God on earth, right? You get your power from the God. It worked out for us in the same fashion as we saw with the Egyptians. The only part is Most High God warned us, first thing, or second thing, no, don't make no idol now. Right? Because he knew where our mind was. And so as soon as Moses is out the picture, or we think he is, then it's like, make for me an animal. What animal do I think our God represent? Got to be a cow. Something strong, right? Something strong that gives life and gives, you know what I'm saying, nourishment. I don't know what they logic was, but you know what I'm saying, give nourishment and you know what I'm saying, something strong. Okay, make a cow. You know what I'm saying, a bull. So there we go. He made 2 golden calves. He said, okay, this is the God that brought you out of Egypt. These are the gods that brought you out of Egypt, right? Then he says, let's make a feast to Yahuwah. So the acts that happened came from Yahuwah. They understood it to come from Yahuwah, and he's attributing that to these idols. And in the name Yahuwah, he's attributing to these idols. In their mind, they're worshiping the same God. That's the reason why that point is important is because Christians, in their mind, are worshiping the same God, and they got a cross on their neck. They got a dove on their Bible or on the back of their car. You know what I'm saying? They got a fish on their Bible or on the back of their car, right? All those things are Christian idols, right, to represent God. Same thing with the Islamics, right? They got the moon and the star, you know what I'm saying, to represent a lot of that. Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them got the, you know what I'm saying, the moon and the star to represent their stuff. They got this thing called the what do they call that thing? When they do the walk around, y'all know what that is? They do like a walk around every year. Every year they got to do something called a pilgrimage, and they go to
Mecca.
They go to Mecca. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's in Saudi Arabia. They go to Mecca and they got to walk around this thing, right? And the people that's able to get close enough to it, they got like a little opening. It's like a big black box. I almost wish I could pull that thing up real quick so y'all can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big old black box. You know what I'm saying? These people are sickos. They're weirdos. You know what I'm saying?
They put like they members in there or something?
No, they don't put nobody in there. They just want to touch it. You know what I'm saying? But they say this is the route. You know what I'm saying? This is what Muhammad did when he was alive. So they try to trace his steps. You know what I'm saying? I'm making all these points because it's like people haven't changed. It's the same thing. It's just that we view it different because contextually it's different. Mm-hmm. But really, it's the same exact thing that people are doing today. Let me see, Mecca. You know what I'm saying? What is it? I forget it was Mecca. Kiss and Stone. There it is. I forget what the thing is called. They call it Blackstone here. That's the hood. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a little video of it or something. Nah, I need like a. There we go. Look at this one. My computer going slow.
There are still a lot of secrets surrounding the Black Stone.
Man.
The most significant mysteries,
a lot of people.
however, are in the parts that are missing. It went from a 30-centimeter big stone into small fragments of no more than 8 little stones cemented into a silver frame to substitute the original stone.
There is nothing left from the original stone but a few fragments. What is left is not the whole stone that was venerated when Ibrahim built the Kaaba, but just fragments.
Many natural and human events have participated in the fragmenting of the Black Stone. The most famous crime was that of the Karmatians, who invaded and robbed the holy place. Some of the fragments were returned to their original place, but the rest are still missing.
So look at all these people every year they go around. I wanted to show the part like where like they let me see. They just want to touch it and kiss it.
Still hanging in the right corner at 110 centimeters above ground.
The people circumambulating the Kaaba seize the opportunity, if possible.
What they kissing for?
See?
In the case of overcrowding, if they do not have the opportunity to kiss the Black Stone, they should point to it and exclaim, God is great.
All right, so if they can't kiss it, they just got to say, you know what I'm saying, God is great. But they all fighting to get close enough to kiss this thing, right? That's Islam. That's a part of Islam, right? This is what these weirdos do. Let me show you something. Now, let me turn this off. Right, so that's just a part of what these weirdos do. Let me see. But on the inside, it's another picture. I have to find it later. But on the inside of it, it's like you walk around it, and the piece that you kiss, a lot of people say it looked like, you know what I'm saying, a lady part. You know what I'm saying? And it's likely that was the thinking. Like, oh, let's design a lady part or whatever, and then I'll go on it, and that's what we doing. We kissing the mother of something. Because it's said that Islam comes, the true origin of Islam, a lot of people say, come from the mother God perspective. Which is why you got a moon and the stars and all that, because the moon represents the mother and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of theories on that. But you look at it, it's like, well, some of this stuff might tie in, right? But that's what these people do. They attach some old ancient. If we looked in the book, what we already read, the people who abducted Joseph, right? The book said that they had on something, and if you look on the translation, it says a crescent. They wore crescents. That's what the representation of Islam is, a crescent, right? So it's very possible that a lot of this stuff, it's the same people. The Midianites and all that, it's the same people, right? Remember, Ishmael went with a Midianite. Ishmael also went with not Ishmael. The Edomites also went with Ishmael. And these people say out of their own mouth that they're the Ishmaelites and the Edomites. Right? That's what the Arabs who brought about Islam, they say that out of their own mouth. Well, that's the same people that was wearing these crescents. Right? According to the book. So you look at it, it's like, oh, y'all still carry that crescent. Y'all still use that to represent your religion, but you attach it to us. Right? You attach it to our history, and now it means something more. Right? You try to clean it up and get all that other stuff out of there and be like, no, it's about, it's about Islam. It's like, well, before Islam, it was something else, wasn't it? Right? So we look at it, the Most High God is trying to straighten us out. We get scared because there ain't no more Moses. We have them put together 2 golden calves. Don't look at that like that's so crazy and out of this world. I can't believe it. It's happening today with Christian crosses, with Islamic, you know what I'm saying, crescents and black stones and all this stuff. All that stuff is happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Same type of ideals. We look at it in the Islamic, in their scriptures, or what's it called? In their Quran, it'll tell you ain't supposed to have no idol either, and they still doing it. Right? So even if their book was real, they disobeying it. The same way that our book tells us don't have no idols, and people still got crosses and all this stuff, and just like the Most High God just told them don't have no idols, and they got it. Right? It's not, I just don't want people to look at it like this is crazy. It's not different from anything that's happening right now. We got it all written, and people still disobey what's written and act like they still serving the same God. Right? So we look at that. He made 2 golden calves. They make a feast to Yahuwah. Right? What else happens?
And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is the feast of the Lord. And they rose up early.
Feast of Yahuwah. Watch this.
And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
They ate and drank and rose up to play. Watch this.
And the Lord said to Moses, go, get thee down, for your people which you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves.
Look how Most High God put it on him. Go on down there. The people you brought out of Egypt, they corrupted themselves. That thing ain't got nothing to do with God no more. He's like, nah, I ain't got the evil on me. That's on you. Right? He's like, people you brought out of Egypt, man, they corrupted themselves. Watch this. Keep going.
They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed thereunto and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, this is a stiff-necked people.
It's a stiff-necked people. Why is that language used, stiff-necked?
Hard-headed.
You hard-headed. The reason why stiff-necked will resonate with our people is because you know what I'm saying, we dealing with cattle. So imagine trying to get the cattle, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to turn, because like a horse, right? A horse, you put what's it called?
A bridle.
A bridle or a bit, you know what I'm saying, in the horse's mouth, right? And then what happens is the way you get a horse to turn is you move his head. Even humans, like even us, like if you learn how to wrestle, you know what I'm saying, they tell you control a person by their head. So you'll see a lot of wrestlers, they get down like this, and they got their hands up like this. And the reason is because I'm going to grab your head and probably push your head down. And if your head is pushed down, then you can't push me nowhere because I'm controlling by your head. Same thing with a horse, same thing with a cow, same thing whatever. I'm controlling with the head. So now if you got this animal that you're trying to get to turn left by pulling his head left, but his neck stiff, guess which way he going to keep going?
Straight.
Same direction he's going before. You trying to turn that thing, but that boy got a strong neck. Everybody in my family got strong necks.
We all play football.
You know what I'm saying? That boy got a strong, so you trying to pull him, and it's like, nah, well, that's a stiff-necked animal, which makes it difficult to lead this animal where he is. Animals are dumb, right? It's like, man, listen, I'm trying to get you back into the thing where it's cold out here. You gonna mess around, or it ain't no food out here. You gonna mess around. I deal with it all the time with my dog. Like, I'm putting this all up so you just gonna spill your food. Like, I'm trying to help you out, right? And so the same thing with animals. You look at it like I'm trying to help you, but you got a stiff neck. You making me help you difficult. So that's why the Most High God is using that, because he's like, oh, you can relate to it. If I call you a stiff-necked people, you know what I'm talking about. You know that feeling because you deal with cattle. So he said it's a stiff-necked people. Watch this.
Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
So that's how this is. I love this part of the book because it tells you how the Most High God works himself. His mindset is, I will get rid of everyone and start all over. Everybody is replaceable. Nobody, this was illustrated best with Moses himself. Remember, he gave Moses the whole plan. You're going to go down to Pharaoh. You're going to do this. You're going to show him all these miracles, this, that, and the other. You're going to bring him back to the mountain. He gave Moses the whole plan. And when Moses was on his way to go do what the Most High God just told him to do, what happened?
He was about to kill him.
Moses fell sick. He was about to die. And what was the reason?
Because he wasn't circumcised.
Only because his kids wasn't circumcised.
Kids weren't circumcised.
Right? To us, that might seem small. Most High God was like, oh yeah, nah, I want you to do all these great things. It's going to last this amount of time, all of that. And then his mindset was, oh, your kids still ain't circumcised, huh? I'll kill your butt right now. And I'll find somebody else to do it. Somebody else would have been Moses. And so the same thing, Moses the only one standing up, everybody else fell off. He like, okay, cool. I'll kill all them, don't worry about it. You got some kids, don't you? We'll make a new nation out of you. It ain't even a big deal. Don't even worry about it. We'll start all over. We can do this again. Don't even worry about it. We can get it. How many people we got out there? Probably about 1.5 million. Okay, that's cool. We can do that again. Take a little while. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We can just do this again. He said, I'll make a new nation out of you, Moses. Watch what Moses say. This is why the Most High God chose Moses, because of how Moses is about to respond right now.
And Moses besought the Lord his God and said, Lord, why does your wrath wax hot against thy people, which you have brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out to slay them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth?
So Moses tried to appeal to the Most High God with logic. He's like, now, God, I know you're angry now, but I don't know how this would look if all the people, after you just did all that foolishness over there in Egypt, if the people come all the way out to the wilderness and we got this big victory and then all of them die. Everybody's just going to be like, oh, no, don't mess with that Yahuwah dude. He'll kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? He ain't looking out for his own people. He killed them all.
And he wasn't able to bring them out of Egypt.
We couldn't make it.
Yeah.
He said we were going to make it to a promised land, and the only person that made it was Moses. He's looking at it like that's not going to be good PR. Internet going to go crazy with that one. They're going to be making fun of you. You're going to have memes, God. Right? So let's look at it. Keep going.
Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, whom you swore by thine own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they will inherit it forever.
Right? Now, he quoted the Most High God's promise back to him. Now, don't be mistaken. The Most High God already got all this calculated. He said, I can still keep the promise if I kill everybody else and make a new nation out of Moses.
Moses still came from Abraham.
I still kept the promise, right? And that's ultimately what the Most High God is going to do, right? What he does, he's going to kill everybody and make a new people out of who?
The children.
Out of Yahushua.
Well, yeah.
Right? Everybody going to die, and then everybody going to be reborn according to Yahushua by the Spirit, right? So essentially what he told Moses is still the plan. Oh, the only thing he does is like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Fine, Moses. You know what I'm saying?
Postpone it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry. I ain't going to let you in on the full plan. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You want to keep these people, fine. They about to die in the wilderness anyway. But all right, whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still
going to kill them all.
Understand, what he just said to Moses still happened, essentially. Not the exact same thing. It still happened. He just let them all have some kids first. And he's like, okay, I'll kill y'all now. A lot of people miss how God works.
Hey, people don't know, man. God don't be playing.
They miss how he works. Like, but it's important to see. When you read the book, you have to understand how God's mind works. Quiet. Like, Moses might have thought, like, whew, I convinced him. You know what I'm saying? Right. He might have thought, like, oh, this, that, another. Moses didn't tell God nothing that God didn't know, right? But for mercy, for Moses' sake, it was postponed. Right? Because Moses is a righteous man, and this is what Moses wants. I'll postpone what I was talking about.
I always promise, like, you know, when the righteous ones come to me with a request, it's like, all right.
I got you.
Yeah.
We can make this work a little bit. But that's what God do. He makes it work. At the same time,
work. His plan, too. So.
That's it. He makes it work. That's what God do the whole time, right? It's like, I'm going to punish you for this, and I'm going to bless you for this. I gave you both of those. I know it seemed like they contradict, but let me tell you something. Them things going to work out. We're about to see that right now. Watch. Keep going.
And the Lord repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. And Moses turned and went down from
In other words, he turned back. So he thought that he was going to kill all the people. But when Moses said it, he repented of it. So he turned back. He changed his mind. He was like, all right, I ain't going to do it then. Right? Keep going.
And Moses turned and went down to the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand. And the tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written.
Right? So he got 2 tables. Both sides was written on. He calmed down and he on the hand. Imagine him running, because Most High God just told him that they made a mess. So he looked like, oh man, let me get down there. Because remember, he's responsible for these people. He's been giving them guidance. So he's like, let me get down there. He got these 2 tables, right? So he's running down the mountain. He trying to see what the people doing. They just got done with a feast. Let's see.
And the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, even upon the table. And when Yahushua heard of the noise of the people, as they shouted, he said to Moses, "There is a noise of war in the camp."
Right? So this is Yahushua, son of Nun. Right? When Yahushua, son of Nun, or as we call it, Joshua, son of Nun, when he heard it, he told Moses. Remember, Joshua was up there with Moses, so he wasn't down there with all this foolishness. So Moses, he wasn't up there with Moses, but he was in the mountain, right? Not everybody could be on that mountain. It was only a few people. It was the 70 elders, so it was only a few people that could be on the mountain. Joshua was the servant to Moses, so he stayed back, right? Moses running down. When he running down, he see him like, "Oh, Moses, nah, man, it's crazy. It sound crazy down there." Watch what Moses say.
And he said, "It is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear."
He's saying, "No, they partying."
Yeah.
Right? Keep going. Watch this.
And it came to pass, as soon as he had come near unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount.
Right? So then he had these tables, and because of his anger, he threw them things down, right, and broke it. What does that signify?
They broke the covenant.
We broke the covenant. He wasn't thinking that, but he was mad, and so he just like lost it and broke it. Because you have to think about it from Moses' standpoint. I'm putting a lot on the line out here. Like I had to put my life on the line going up against Pharaoh, right? I'm sitting there dealing with all of y'all. I don't really know what's going on, but I got to keep a strong face. I talked to the Most High God. I feel like we about to die with all these Egyptians that's coming. Okay, the sea opened up. Whoo, barely made it. Came out. You struggling against me. Everybody, I'm sitting here in front of y'all all day handling y'all grievances, y'all problems, giving y'all judgments. All this stuff is like I've invested a lot into this. And I got to answer to God for y'all. When God mad, he yelling at me. He not yelling directly at y'all. Now I'm begging him not to kill y'all butts. Then I come down here and y'all stupid good. You got to... You know what I'm saying? Then he just throw it down. Watch what happened next.
And he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink it.
Right? So he made them drink the water that he just burnt the calf up in, melted it, and poured it into the water. Right? So now this water got melted gold and all this stuff from the earrings that they all gave them. So they had to drink it. What else?
And Moses said to Aaron, "What does this people do unto you, that you have brought so great a sin upon them?" And Aaron said, "Let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. You know the people, that they are set on mischief.
What they would have did to you, Aaron?
For they said unto me, Make us gods which shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him."
What they would have did to you, Aaron?
And I said unto them, "Whosoever has any gold, let him break it off." So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame amongst their enemies.
They weren't, yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is on the Lord's side?"
Right? So imagine this big scene. Everybody partying because it was a feast, it was a party. So everybody partying. They got these golden calves that they worshiping. Moses break up the party. He comes slamming stuff. He melted down. He started making some people drink out of the water. Then he stand in the middle of the crowd. Now everybody stopped partying. Everybody like, "Oh, we messed up." Because we thought Moses was dead. Moses back now. And he's not happy with us. So everybody just standing there scared. Moses standing in the middle of it. He look at, who on the side of God? Read it.
And Moses saw the people, and Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is on the Lord's side?
Who is on Yahuwah's side?
Let him come unto me." And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
The only people that stood up at that point were the sons of Levi. Why might the sons of Levi be the ones that stand up at that point?
And boys with the function. They with the Most High God.
Yeah, why else?
You got to get that curse up off them.
Why else might they do it?
Because they serve the people. They serve God.
Who is Moses to them?
Yeah, Moses from Levi.
Oh, that's their cousin. Right?
Yeah,
Moses was a Levite. Aaron is a Levite. The leader of all the things is a Levite. They looking at, oh, that's my people though. Like that's my daddy cousin. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my people.
They all cousins.
So you look at them like, All right.
Technically,
You know
all
what
of
I'm
them
saying?
cousins, but you know.
But yeah, they closer cousins. You know what I'm saying? They looking at them like, oh, we come from the same tribe. We all Levites. They look at them like, no, I'm with you,
It was
Moses.
about easy peasy. Like, what?
Yeah, like, no, I'm with you. It's like, I got to. Moses needs some help, and I'm with you, Moses. What we got? Don't nobody know what Moses is talking about at this point. Everybody else feeling guilty, right? The Levites are like, well, we Levites, we might as well, you know what I'm saying? We all Levites, we might as well stand next to our brother. Because you have to understand, that was our culture. Like, that's, our culture is family. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm rolling with my mans now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, for sure, we're going to roll with the Levite. So they said, okay, Levites all stood by him. What else happened?
And he said unto them, thus says Yahuwah God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp and slay every man his brother, every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
You think everybody was up for doing that? Not everybody. But you know the Levites come from who?
They come from Moses.
They come from Levi. You remember Levi and Simeon, what they were down to do? They slayed a man in his wounding.
Simeon, Levi got a history of being down with, like, the war, the fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they was right with it. They said, he said, slay every man who?
His companion, his neighbor, every man his companion and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses.
So now he said, slay your companion. In other words, if they're your friend, you kill them. If they live right next to you, you kill them. In other words, he's telling you, don't spare a person. Now listen, Moses just made an appeal to the Most High God to not kill these people. When Moses came down here and he saw for himself what law was broken, he's looking like, oh, this is ridiculous. And in his anger, he said, oh no, we got to execute the judgment of this law. We already talked about this. We know what the law is. The judgment of this law has to be executed. What he was doing, although emotionally driven, was not wrong. This is what should have happened according to our law. You worship an idol, the judgment is that you put to death. So he just needed somebody to carry out the judgment. He being the judge, he needed somebody to carry out that judgment, right? The Levites stood up and they did it. He's telling them, don't spare them even though they're your friend or they're your neighbor. Don't try to go and be like, no, I mean, I'm going to let you get it. Nope, nobody passes. Get they butt. So what else happened? Levites did it.
And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses had said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, even every man upon his son, and every man his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahuwah. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto Yahuwah and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold. Yet now if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book which you have written.
Right? So now he's saying, I'm putting myself on the line even further. Forgive them is what I'm asking you for. Right? But if that can't happen, let them in instead of me. Right? I'm going to give my life for theirs. What does that sound like?
Yahushua. He like, nah.
That's what Yahushua did for us.
God look like, nah, you're not the one. But, you know.
That's exactly what he said to him. He was like, that's going to happen, but I don't necessarily like you being the guy to do it. I got a guy for that. You know what I'm saying? He coming. You know, that's what I'm trying to build toward. That's why I need these people to kind of straighten out a little bit, because I'm trying to get to him.
You get it, Moses, but.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, I like the effort. You know what I'm saying? I like the effort. What you get in school when you got good effort? A. What's the other one?
Yes. Or E.
E. There we go. You get E for effort. Yeah. E. You know what I'm saying? You get a good E. You know what I'm talking about? So, all right, let's see.
And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, my angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sin upon them. And the Lord plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made.
That's in 32? Okay. So we're going to get to, we're going to stop there. And we're going to get to 33 and we'll probably read all the way to about 4 or 5 or something like that, 36 maybe. And then next week we'll read through those, and then we'll go over the temple. I'm sorry, the tabernacle and all the artifacts that goes in there, and just kind of discuss it a little bit. I don't know. As long as this took, we might be next couple weeks before we go through it, right? But this is good.